God's law of cause and effect operates inexorably to the end that all of the jealousies, hatreds, littleness, and pettiness of humanity will be distilled and transmuted into divine harmony and the Christ consciousness of God. In reality, there is no such thing as a so-called master. One who has become one with the divine has not risen above anything. He has merely become one with all things. And in divine at-one-ment there is no master and servant, only eternal oneness. Those we call masters are those who have freed themselves from bondage of negation, and overcome circumstances and things instead of being mastered by them. And he is no different from you or anyone else, only in the matter of development. You have potentially the same powers the masters have. They, however, are aware of their powers and are able to use them, and you are not. I, as many others of this planet Earth, have met, associated with, benefited by, and enjoyed the presence of these highly superior beings from other worlds, whose development is inconceivable to people of Earth. We have found them to be shining examples of what we of Earth should be, what we can be, and shall become despite man's solely materialistic minds and egotistical, dominating, destructive nature. Cosmic principles are in the process of transmuting all things on earth. A new race will emerge in the new age, for even now a mutation has started taking place in all mankind. Unseen forces are at work throughout the cosmos, some so subtle even the most sensitive person is not aware of them. Life shall become as it never has been since the fall of man, for all darkness and negation shall be dissolved by the light. Always in every age and to every people, when the world is in need of spiritual and material leadership, there has come a manifestation of the Christ consciousness, an avatar, who sought to guide man's steps, giving only to man what he made himself ready to receive, and to bring him an understanding of divine love, which mortal man has spurned for thousands of years. Mankind has wandered far from the fold, and ere all is done he must be brought back into the fold. Even though a great change has already taken place, countless millions of people throughout the world will be struck dumb when the legions of angels of heaven make manifest the glory of the divine presence of the Christ consciousness. The Creator has decreed a spiritual renaissance and a new era of peace and constructive activities ruled over by the Lord of the world. An avatar is a world teacher, Lord of the world. He is a soul which, because it was manifesting on higher planes of consciousness in the beginning, did not partake of the fall of man, and remained a son or light of God. An avatar descends only at will to the lower material plane. Angels are directing intelligences. Legions of angels, or a host of angels, is a spiritual army, not an army that will fight with weapons of destruction, but an army of spiritual fire and force, the army of Maitreya, Lord of the world, which will spread over the earth and conquer negation with spiritual weapons. The Bible tells you that heaven is in the midst of the Pleiades. That is because it is the nucleus of all the spiritual expressions in this world that are working to remove the darkness from man. This center of all spiritual direction is from one of the encircling planets of the star Antares of the Pleiades. It may seem strange, so many things and so many powers exist without man being aware of them, and yet there are many more strange and vast things in the universe that man has no knowledge of, things which have no place in a manuscript such as this, things that would be ineffectual to convey to man when he is not yet ready to receive such knowledge. Some there are who believe UFOs are the greatest mystery of our century, and though I have assembled the contents of this book somewhat crudely, this notwithstanding, I only hope I have made it clear that there is no mystery connected with them. It is in knowing that the veil of mystery is lifted But for all that has been written herein, the fact remains that each individual must at all times be left to follow the dictates of his own inner feelings as to what he shall believe, as to what he shall know and do. For every man has the power of free will. It is rather not for me to deny anyone the choice of making up his mind for himself, for this he must certainly do. No man should be forced into any condition or way of life, for man compelled is man in revolt. Therefore I have set forth these truths that you may so decide. I do not ask that you believe, only that you consider, and if critically, then with an open mind. Dear reader, whoever you are, a critic, a skeptic, a curiosity seeker, an opponent of truth, or one of the few seekers of light and truth, I have herein revealed to you the way. The rest is entirely up to you to choose the way you will travel, to benefit by it or lose by ignoring it, to dedicate your life to the new spiritual age, following the path of light into the new kingdom, or to go down in the passing age of darkness, to be bound at last with Satan. If you believe a year from now what you believe today, the world will have outdistanced you. No one may aid another beyond a certain point. You must desire to help yourself and do just that. No man can save a man but himself. Being a God, you are not helpless. You are your Savior. It is no unusual trait for saucer fans to eagerly seek and accept any information they can read or hear about UFOs. But there is more to them than just flying saucer propaganda, phenomena, mystery, and sensationalism. Their coming heralds a call at the dawn of the new age to a new way of life. However, when it is confided to Mr. Average Saucer Fan that he now needs to begin to know thyself, his high pitch of interest is diminished. He would rather have his delusions than to make such an effort, even though he gained the truth. Many find it easier to choose the line of least resistance and go along blindly with the crowds. Verily, it has been said that the great mass of mankind has no realization as to where they come from, why they are here, or where they are going, either as an individual or as a race of people. It is that we must educate ourselves to think and not treat our minds carelessly, cramming any old thing into them. Store only that which appertains to the elevation of mind and soul. It takes perseverance to become something else than just an opinionated person. No doubt there are those of you who will assert that you do know yourself, but let us suppose one of your brothers confronted you with the question, "What is your purpose in living?" Could you readily answer him, confidently telling him, "It is my right to serve the Creator by changing disorder into order. It is my purpose to master the condition of negation around me in the material, so that I may be free of negative and one with God." Every experience I meet and conquer perfects some of the inharmonious light into a condition of order, and by so doing the divine light grows in order. And why should this be your purpose? It was in the beginning that man was fully aware of his oneness with God, but in a far past cycle he lost, not God, but his awareness of his oneness with him. Man is limited in his concept to the relationship of the world around him, seeing only with his material eyes, realizing only through the medium of his material sense, and therefore his knowledge is bound by the material world in which he lives. The goal of all our seeking is to banish the darkness of ignorance and regain that perfect oneness that is man's true heritage. Our brothers infer that the way of true development is a very long road for most people. Many have excellent opportunities to help themselves, but they fail because they refuse to study